don't need anything for this. If I want something for my head, feel free to put like a block underneath your head because you don't want your head just like dangling down, right? So sometimes I'll put like an RX pad. If I'm here, I don't want to be at such like an extreme angle, right? I want to just be like 90, right? I'm lying on my side. You see my abs kind of lifted up off the ground. My left hip is down on the ground. And I'm actually going to take my right foot and set it just a little bit forward of my left. Left hip's glued down to the ground and my right knee is reaching forward. So this is a hip shift and this is like the most basic form of a hip shift, but a lot of us are so fucking tight that we don't even know how to do that, right? We got so compressed in our butt that we can't shift it from one hip or into the other. So what we're trying to do is really keep the heels heavy on the wall as we reach that right knee forward, and then we're gonna reach that right knee up. So the knee reaches forward with the heel heavy, and then the knee reaches up. And then what I'm gonna do is just rest my right hand on my right knee. So knee forward and knee up, heels are heavy on the wall, and I'm just breathing. I know there's a lot of things going on, but a lot of us been doing sideline breathing now for a while. Put your hand on your rib cage, maybe thumb faces back so you can feel that expansion through the back side of the rib cage. Inhale. Inhaling into the ribs, into the chest, and into the back. And exhale. I'm still reaching my right knee forward and up. Exhale, emptying from the bottom up. Inhale. And now from this position, you take your right hand and you press it down into the ground, keeping your right knee forward and up. You're going to exhale, lift your bottom knee towards your top. Exhale, lift your bottom knee towards your top. Exhale, lift your bottom knee towards your top. If it's too hard, don't feel like you have to do it, but think about it. Those are your lower abs, your transverse abdominals. You're exhaling, emptying from the bottom as you imagine drawing your hip bones towards each other each time you lift. I don't know about you, but I feel my right ass. Yes. Now, we're not going to do the same thing when we go to the other side, okay? The other side, we're going to do a pull back on the left. So, I don't know, the majority of people that I come into contact with have that shitty left side. So, we're going to pull back to the left on the left. You can use your fist, you can use a block, or you can use a little ball. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to get that feeling, okay? So, say I'm here, I'm inside lying. And my knees are bent to 90 again, right? So I love side lying because it's smashing my pelvis sideways. It's automatically giving me more internal rotation, which a lot of women need, right? So even just like being in this position, getting good inhales and exhales is gonna do something for your hips, okay? So inhaling into your chest and into your back. I got my hand on my ribs, my thumb is back. Imagine filling your chest with air, your back with air. I'm not side dumped down to the ground. Like some people like to put something underneath this side of their body too. I'm not going to get too crazy with it, but imagine that air going backwards. Inhale. Exhale, empty from the bottom. Allowing the ribs to come back and the air to come out and the ribs are coming in. So on my next inhale, look at my knee. I'm going to inhale, draw the hip back. I'm not rotating my whole torso. I'm just rolling my left knee so it's behind my right knee, okay? And then I just want you to bring it back. So inhale, you're using your inner thigh to kind of draw back. And then exhale, just press down or squeeze down into the block or into the ball. All I want you to be able to do is move through the range of motion at the pelvis. Okay, if you want more, I'm gonna go like this. Inhale, pull back, exhale, push down, and then rotate from the hip. So I'm not hiking my pelvis up, I'm pulling the left hip back and then rotating from the hip. So internal rotation at the hip, just like a rotisserie chicken. And I'm just gonna hold there and I'm gonna breathe and I'm gonna feel that leftmost muscle of my body, that glute med, the front portion of it, light up, okay? So for a long time, I didn't have this muscle and I missed out on a lot of things. So I want you to just breathe there for 3 breaths. Hopefully you feel something. It's not your TFL. You're not hiking through the pelvis. It's not like excessive, right? And that's where the ball can be really great because sometimes the yoga block is like so thick that it's weird. You could roll up a towel. Again, you could use your fist or like a small ball. Now I want you to just relax. So we're gonna go into our bear position and we're gonna kind of play around with the hip shifting again there. So even if you're pregnant, you can do this because all you're gonna do is like slide the knee up off the ground, right? So if I'm in this hands and knees position, and again, I could use a ball, I don't have to. I might be in hands and knees and you guys can kind of see me, right? You see my knees, my black pants. If I just pull my right knee up off the ground, I might hike my hip as I do it. I don't want that. I want to maintain this distance and just draw the hip back. So it's exactly the same thing that we just did in sideline, but now we're doing it in prone, okay? If you're a hardo, you're gonna do exactly that same thing from this bear position with the knees lifted, and then you're gonna draw the hip back, or you use your yoga block or your ball and you draw the hip back, and then exhale, drop it down. So right now my knees are up off the ground. Inhale, pull my left hip back. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, right knee back. Exhale, drop it down. Okay, so Caitlin, you could do it with your knees off the ground, or you could just practice it with the knee down on the ground. On exhale, you should feel the abdominals, okay? So literally you're just shifting in a bear position. Inhale, pull the hip back. Exhale, drop the knee back down. Good. Michelle, bring your hips forward just a little bit or your wrists back a little bit. Good. Allowing that movement to come from the hip. I want you to just try 10. It's not huge, kind of reaching your knee down towards the ground. Good. Nice, Arpita. It looks good. And you should feel your abs. Okay, that's that full on exhale, that nice deep inhale as you're in the bear position. Then you're gonna flip yourself over and we're gonna do some bridges on the wall. So I'm gonna be in a 90-90 position on the wall, but we're gonna do a one-legged bridge and just like bear with me and try to go a little bit slow and see what you feel. So if I'm here, I'm lying on my back, I'm dragging my heels down the wall, okay? So when I drag my heels down the wall, I feel the backs of my legs kind of engage, but I'm not like doing this huge bridge through my low back. I just wanna feel that drag, okay? So take a big inhale, exhale, drag down the wall. And then I want you to think about just pulling that left knee in so you're on one leg, okay? Think about inhaling onto the ball of your foot as you bridge up. So this is just the first part of it. Lower down, drag down that heel. Inhale onto the ball of the foot. Exhale, drag down the wall. That's super easy, right? Inhale onto the ball of the foot. Exhale, drag down the wall. Then we're gonna up level it. I'm gonna do a little bit of external rotation through my left leg as I bridge up. Inhale, open the pelvis, right? Exhale, drag back down. Inhale onto the ball of the foot, open up. Exhale, drag back down the wall. Inhale, open up. My left knee opens up, but I maintain that rib cage position. Exhale, drag the heel down. Do you feel your hamstring and butt?
Yes.
Good. So this is how our glutes want to work. They want to go through internal and external rotation. And it's awesome to pair the breathing with the feet, I have learned. Nice. So I want you to just do 10 and then we're going to practice 10 on the other side. But here's the deal. You can't just bridge up through your low back and think that you're going to feel it in your butt, right? It has to come from the heel toe breathing and right? So if I'm going to go to my left side now, I'm here. I'm going to practice a couple where I'm going heel toe, inhale and lower down, heel toe and down. Inhale, exhale. Now I'm like, okay, I know where my rib cage is. I know where my pelvis is. I'm going to inhale, come up, let that knee drop down. My whole pelvis didn't dump over to the right, right? So that's going to get that glute on. I'm bridging up and then dragging down. Inhale, open, exhale, down. This is the same kind of stuff we do with like the single leg deadlift with the sweatshirt at the wall. Good, I want you to pull all the way down the wall too. Good, then we're gonna come stand up and we're gonna do some lateral hinging. So if you have a wedge, take one wedge, elevate the balls of the feet and grab onto a weight that's not heavier than like 12 pounds. I'm going to push myself over to one side and hold there for a second. If you don't have a wedge, it's not a big deal. I just like to think about where the weight is in my foot to be able to kind of find my heel in this position because I struggle with the hinge a little. So if I have my right foot, ball of the foot's on the wedge, left foot is pushing me over my right side. So like right now, my left foot's pushing into the wall. So I'm over my right side, okay? I want you to think about reaching that weight in your left hand. Inhale down and then exhale up to the rack position into a clean, okay? Push yourself over to the right, heel heavy, knee kind of pulls in towards the midline, and then exhale, stand it up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, heel heavy, exhale, drive through that heel and come back up. So that right leg is bending, the left leg staying nice and straight, and I'm actively pushing myself over to the right. Yes. So I want you to just give me 10 of those. Nice. So heel heavy, knees kind of forward, and your ass is back. Good. Good. Michelle, you might shorten your stance a little bit. I can't really tell, but you might want to. I'm going to stick my butt in your face and I'm going to do the other side. Now, this side's harder for me because like getting over my left side, I've had ankle sprains, like my pelvic floor and everything. I'm a little bit more slow on my left side. So sometimes I'll just like hold the first rep for like some reps to try to get into my butt. I want to get that internal rotation. So if I sit into my left side, I want my heel heavy, my knee forward. I'm going to do a couple breaths. Just inhaling and exhaling, trying to get that heel heavy, and then drive up through the heel, right? Inhale and exhale. Good, like Drea, maybe like bend in your knees a little bit more because I feel like you were just moving through your low back.
Hey, Stacey.
Yes.
So I, last week we talked about feet a lot.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the video, the first one where the woman has you standing.
Yep.
I noticed, I think that the foot thing might be because of my calf, like being so tight.
Well,
Because
it's never
even with-
that. It's just because your
No.
calcaneus can't drop forward, right?
Okay,
Yeah. So
Okay.
like the calf is tight because your foot doesn't move.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, I might say heel heavy and you think you're heel heavy, but you just like don't even know what heel heavy means yet, right? So it does take a little bit of time, okay?
Yep, that's what I'm noticing. And I felt it in my calf, so I figured maybe it was coming.
Yeah,
from
no,
my
that's
calf.
great. That's good, for sure. And I see a lot of people that's kind of like the case. Like what I was just saying about that lateral hinge, it's the same thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If I can't keep my heel down, there's no way that my knee's gonna go forward, right?
Right. Yep. Okay.
So
Got
it's
it.
like
Thank you.
feeling comfortable with that movement again. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's go back. We're going to do another set of the bridges. We're going to do another set of a bear, not the same one. And then we're going to get to it. So if I am lying down on my back, we're doing that same one. So Caitlin, you can do like your back on bench bridge again. I'm going to go here. I'm dragging down the wall. My right leg is dragging down. I'm inhaling as I come up onto the ball of my foot. I'm allowing that knee to come out and then dragging down the wall. Exhale, inhale, open up, exhale down. If this does not feel good for you, just simply practice the heel toe. Because what I don't want you to do is push so high with your back that you're like, yeah, look at me. Well, that's going to be your fucking low back, right? We don't want that. We want to be able to feel that the hamstrings are pulling the pelvis into position, okay? Good, better, Michelle, because I want to see that like your belly's going down and your back's kind of going back as well. So really allow the foot, like the heel to drag to go. Good, and the heel drag ain't going nowhere because you know we're gonna do some split squats. Caitlin, I'd go back and go on like an elevated surface or just do like your bear to the down dog again. Right? Just thinking about maybe your palms are turning up or you're pushing through your hands. So we're inhaling to reach back, exhale to come forward. We're gonna do the same thing that we worked on Wednesday. If I'm in my plank position with my knees at the wall, my feet are dragging up the wall, right? I don't have to have my heels in contact with the wall. It's just like the balls of my feet are dragging up the wall. You could shove them underneath your sofa as well. And now, see how when I come forward, I'm not like coming way down here. My butt's not out like this. Like that's all about finding the stack in the first place as well, right? So you might even just breathe in that position. If you don't own this position, then we can't really move on from it, right? So I come forward, I'm reaching with my arms so that I can inhale into the front of my rib cage, exhale, empty from the bottom. And then from this position, I'm gonna walk myself out, but I'm not gonna let there be big like lines in my back on my shirt when I get to this position, right? I don't just do it to do it, I do it to feel it. And I want a big inhale with my chest and sternum up and a big exhale. And then I'm gonna walk myself back into that start position. I'm gonna push my heels into the wall and lift my knees. And then I'm gonna inhale my right knee into my chest, exhale out, inhale left knee in, exhale out, drop my knees back down, drag my feet up the wall, walk it out. Chest is lifted, inhale, exhale, empty from the bottom. All the air out. Walk it back. Wrists and shoulders are in a line. Feet up on the wall. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Caitlin, I would do this. Hands and knees. Reach your right leg back. Drag that foot up the wall with just the ball of your foot and do 5 breaths in that position. Dropping your right hip down. So I want you to give me 5 of those. 5 walkout, 2 mountain climber. So when you're doing this, you could look in the camera and be like, well, first of all, videotaping yourself is very eye-opening. Sometimes, most of the time, what you think you're doing, you're not actually doing, right? So that's why I'm here to help you. But when you're doing it on your own, you really want to think about emptying from the bottom up. Like you should not feel like the air is pushing down, right? You are kegeling a little bit, hip bones draw towards each other, and the air is coming out. Those are your lower abs. They're going to work with the hamstrings. Good. And then just because I can go so far out, if I can't maintain the position of my pelvis, I'm not going to really feel it in my abs, right? It's all got to come with a good inhale and a good exhale. Good. So talking about the foot, we're going to go into a split squat. I'm going to let you see my foot and I can give you a couple cues for things. If you're on carpet, it's a lot harder than if you're on like regular ground. So the hardest ground that you could get on would probably be the best. If you had wedges, you could use them. You want to put it underneath the big toe mound, the outer edge of the heel, and then underneath the toes, or you just roll up a sock or a rag and you put it underneath your arch so that you have a sense of where your midfoot is, right? Some of us have high arches, some of us have flatter feet. This is going to help for both of us. Okay. So I am going to set myself up in a split stance, and my split stance is going to be narrower than what you might think. And I'm not going to grab a weight yet. Okay. So I'm going to set my left foot forward and my right leg back, not this long, pretty short. Okay. I'm going to think about my heel dragging backwards, just like we did in the wall, right? Just like we do all the time. And I'm going to rotate my right hip towards my left knee as I pull myself down. Look at this nice straight line from my rib cage to my knee, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to hold here for 20 seconds worth of breaths, all right? Rotate the right hip towards the left. Pull yourself down. Allow that midfoot to kind of yield down into the ground when you're in this position, and keep dragging and holding and breathing. My knee is not on the ground. I am using my muscles to hold myself here as I breathe. Inhale and exhale. Dragging on the heel, inhale. Allowing the midfoot to yield down into the ground, exhale. Inhale and exhale, drive it up. So you should get some sensation through the ass, through the hamstring, right? And obviously through the quad as well. We're gonna do exactly the same thing on the opposite side, except now I'm gonna coach it just a little bit differently, okay? I don't want you to rotate your torso as much to the right, okay? But I still want you to try to feel that midfoot as you're doing it. So if I have my right foot here, I'm still dragging back. I'm still keeping that stacked position, pulling myself down. Now at this bottom position, I might even take my left knee and kind of push it out, and then allow the midfoot of the right foot to drop down into the ground, and I'm breathing. And shorten your stance more. Inhale, drag on the heel, drag on the heel. Let the midfoot collapse in, drive the left knee out. Heel heavy, don't lose the outer edge of your right heel, and drive it up. Good. So could you feel kind of what I was talking about a little bit with that? Dragging on the heel, trying to find the butt. It's all about the feet. Your ass relies on your feet to be able to feel the ground, okay? So we're gonna pair that with like a bench press, okay? So bench press, floor press, incline press, Caitlin, whatever you wanna do, okay? I'm gonna show you 8 to 10 reps of a bench press. If you want to do a floor press, you can. You can put your feet on the wall to maintain that good stack position, okay? So if I'm on a bench, I'm here, I'm gonna grab my weights, and I'm gonna sit on the bench with my feet dragging down the wall. Can you see me? Good. I'm not bridging or anything. I'm just not arching in my back. And then I'm going to reach up, pull down, reach up, pull down. We're going to go 8 to 10. So you want to kind of go heavy and you want to really work that breath, right? Exhale all the air out. Inhale into the chest and into the back. Exhale, empty from the bottom up. Nice. So challenging yourself. Imagine this whole clavicle, inhaling and taking air in. Michelle, I think you need some heavier weights over there, girlfriend. Thank you.
Casey, if I only have 120, can I just do one arm and then switch?
Yep. Good. Drea, bend your elbows at 45 degrees to pull down. Pull. Good. Turn your fingernails in towards the midline. Exhale, drive it away. Perfect.
We can do one at a time.
Yep. I ain't a dictator. You just asked me if you need options, right? So more anti-rotation when you're just using one. Make sure you're not like overusing like your pec as you reach through. So just think about finding your shoulder blade on your rib cage as you go. Perfect. So what we're doing, we're supersetting just those two. We're banging them out. We're going pretty heavy. Instead of doing an isometric for the split squat, now we're going to bang out some repetitions, but we're going to hold the weight in the goblet position. So when I go to my left, I'm still going to rotate a little bit extra to the left so I can get into like that tight upper back. Okay. Inhaling to pull down, exhaling to drive away. And we're going to do 10 repetitions there. So I'm here. I got my weight in my hand. I have my left foot forward. I'm pulling on that heel as I inhale, loading that midfoot. Exhale, drive it up. Inhale, rotate towards the left, heel heavy. Exhale, drive it up. I want 10, but I want you thinking about those same cues that we used with the isometric. You need to get into that midfoot with the heel heavy, and you're pulling yourself down, okay? Nice. Watch yourself with the stack. Are you actually stacked? Right? You don't want to lose your pelvis. Nice. Good. Inhaling, the pelvic floor relaxes. Exhale, it lifts. Good. And the same thing goes with your breath every single time. Imagine emptying from the bottom up. Every exercise is an ab exercise when you're breathing right. Okay. Everybody, if I was there, I want you to imagine me pushing underneath your ribs in front of you. So if you try to get your sternum up like this, I want you to imagine bringing your ribs back here. Okay. That's going to be a better stack, so you don't feel your low back. Back to the bench press, Rebecca. Good. We're just going to bang out 3 sets of this, and then we'll move along to more fun stuff. We got to get that strength in. Good. So here's a good example. This looks good, Caitlin. Really think about that hand as when you're reaching that hand, you're able to keep the ribs back and you're not flaring, right? Like that higher hinge point can come into play a lot during pregnancy. Okay, so I just want you to realize where your ribs are. Perfect. Challenge yourself. If you have the weights, 8 to 10, 2 in the tank. Good. If you need to do 1 arm at a time, that's totally great. Seems like this is what I've been waiting for. Nice. Oh, I wish I was watching because I could have got you to get that. Nice. Good, we're going right back to those split squats after that. Would any of you voluntarily choose to do split squats?
No.
Didn't think so. That's why we do them together. I want you to not
So-
forget about that. When I'm going down, pulling down, I'm rotating towards the left. I want that knee to kind of pull in towards the midline, and I want to feel that midfoot. Like if I had a sock underneath it, my midfoot would drop. That's going to get your butt. Good. Heel heavy. Pull yourself down. Nice. Nice. Everybody looks so good. Good. Really pull on that right heel. Good. And then at that bottom, maybe you're dragging the knee out a little bit. Nice. Good. You guys all look great. As long as you feel that heel heavy. Good. Last set of bench. Last set, best set. That means maybe it ain't 8 to 10, maybe it's 15. Okay. So AMRAP, last set. Caitlin, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do AMRAP, but you do the press. Nice. Good. And Jacqueline, you don't have to do AMRAP either, but I want you to just think about coordinating it so it becomes second nature that you're exhaling, emptying from the bottom, and that when you're inhaling, you're deliberately inhaling into the spaces that need some air. Nice. Good. So Tina, I would pull down with my knuckles turning out.
Oh, like,
Just think about like your fingernails pulling in towards as you pull down, and then when you drive away, you can have like your knuckles facing towards the ceiling more.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Inhale, pull down. Exhale, drive it up. So we're going to move right along to another butt exercise. We're going to talk about my favorite single leg deadlift variation at the wall, and we might spice it up a little bit, but for the first set, we're just going to keep it super simple. And I just want to make sure that you're getting like the basics down. Okay. So if I have my right foot down on the ground, I'm going to step myself forward so that my right foot is just a little bit in front of my left knee. So if I was to stand at the wall, my right foot is in front and my left foot is up the wall. But if I was to look down at my knees, I want my right leg just slightly in front of my left. Does that make sense? If I look down at my knees like this left hip is gonna drop down as I exhale, reach towards my pinky toe. So right foot down, left hand reaches towards pinky toe, and then press up. Exhale, right butt straight back. Inhale up. Good. And I'm going to come over and watch you guys, but I want you to think about left hip drops down right towards that right toe and up. Exhale down. Yep. Inhale up. Good. What do you feel when you do that?
Mostly butt.
Right ass.
Good. So what leg are you on, Danielle?
My right.
Okay, so take your left hand and reach towards your right foot. Yep. Now hold there and give me an inhale and an exhale at the bottom position and make sure you're moving from like your ass and your hip while your heel is heavy so you feel your butt and then
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Good. Now shake it out because we're going to talk through the other side. Okay. And then we're going to add load to it in subsequent sets, but I want you to get that down. And so here's the thing. We need to be able to reach the butt back to like shut a door, right? But we also want to have the heel heavy and the knee coming forward a little bit. Okay. So I'd say that's the hardest part. Like when I look at people is like, they're not maintaining heel heavy or they're like pushing their knee way back.
Yeah, I struggle getting my knee back, forward.
Right. And I can tell that a lot in your right side too. Like even
Mhm.
when you're doing like the lateral lunge and stuff. Have you ever had an ankle injury?
No,
Okay, well, maybe you want to check out those like unfuck your feet, like the pronation drill, because that makes a huge difference too.
yeah, I did those, but thank you. I'll keep working on it.
Yeah, because it's never just one thing, you know? It's like a lot of things all happening at once. So if I take my left foot and I'm going to have my right foot up the wall, I'm going to take my right hip and I'm going to rotate it towards my left side. Okay, exhale. In all the air out when I'm down here. So I'm just hanging out here for a second. I've exhaled all the air out. I want my left heel heavy. My left knee is going to come forward a little bit, but my butt's reaching back. Okay. Now, do you see how right now, like Michelle, your butt's so far back, like all your weight's back? I want it to be a little bit more forward. Can you guys like find that sweet spot? And then inhale up. Right? Exhale, rotate. Inhale up. Exhale, inhale. Good. Does that feel different, Michelle? You might want to hop your left foot forward a little bit. Good. Because you just want to think about where's your center of mass, right? It's got to be a little bit forward. Do you feel like you're over your left leg, Cheryl?
I do, yeah. I feel it in my glute.
Okay. Bend your left knee a little bit more. Good. Now get your body over that side more. That's better.
Yeah.
Good. So let's go with some rows. I know that some people in here like have TRX and have a chin up bar. Let's use it while we can. If you don't worry about it. We're just going to do like a wall row. So it's either a wall row or a chin up with the TRX. Okay. Or you can do like a lat pull down. I see a bunch of shit in there, Danielle. Let's have some fun. Think about 8 to 10, 10 to 12 rep range. Okay. So if I have my nice heavy weight and I only have a dumbbell and a wall, I'm going to get into almost like a lat stretch and row at the same time. So I'm going to take my hand down the wall, dragging down the wall, right? And then I'm going to row, but I'm in a nice like plank position as I do that. So I'm getting abs, but also rowing. Okay. That's one option. Second option would be using your rings or your TRX. I want you to just like sit down into a nice deep squat. This looks like a lat pull down. I'm going to go here, inhale my chest and my back, exhale up, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm dragging on my hamstrings in that position and I'm not allowing my ribs to flare. So you could just go wide overhand. Yep. Perfect. Lean your body back a little bit. See how you stick your chest out a lot? That's going to be the number one thing I'm going to change. Like imagine I'm right there and I'm actually having you like flex right underneath your rib cage. Imagine my hand was there pushing your rib cage back. Yep. Good. And that's going to feel really weird, but that's going to help your back so much because you need that flexion. Good. Get that little bit of a stretch at the bottom, Christine. Good. Allow those lats to get a nice stretch, Cheryl, at that bottom position. Nice. Good. Then we're just going to go with a step up to a reverse lunge. If you don't have a place to step up onto, we can just literally do a reverse lunge, but we're going to rotate as we do it. So we get going with all this strength training stuff and we turn into like this, I don't know, SpongeBob SquarePants because we can't rotate, right? Like I know that happened to me. We want to get that rotation. So if I was doing my step up to reverse lunge, I got my bench right here. I'm going to step up with my right leg. So my heel's heavy, my knees kind of coming forward. I'm not bouncing off that leg. I'm driving myself up. I pull my left knee in. I kind of rotate over to my left, come down, pull myself down into a reverse lunge. I'm rotating over that left leg. Step up with my right leg. Pull the left knee in. Rotate over the left. Pull down. I want you to do 10 on each leg. You're just like moving through your range of motion. If you don't have something to step up onto, all you're doing is this: reverse lunge, rotate, reverse lunge, rotate. And you could just do the reverse lunges 12 and 12. Perfect. Yep. Imagine rotating that torso. Good. Michelle, get closer to your bench. Step down super. Nope. Really, 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 really close. Yeah, good. I want that top leg doing the work to get you up and to get you down. And then you're dragging on your heel as you go up and you're allowing your torso to rotate as you go. Yep. Perfect. Nice. Good. How much can you let that torso rotate? Like if I'm using my right leg, I better fucking be over my right leg. Get over that side. Anytime you're doing a one-legged exercise, perfect. Yeah, good. Just getting the heart rate up a little bit. Where has this gym been all my life, Christine?
Oh my God, it's awesome, right?
Yeah. Nice. I see you, Jacqueline. Charlie, you're so strong. Good. Now you're going to come and you're going to lie down on your back and you're going to take your arms up the wall. You're going to imagine dragging your arms up the wall. All right. So your lats, they connect to your sacrum, right? So like in order to be able to get the stack, your pelvis has to be able to, or your sacrum has to be able to nod forward and back, right? So a lot of us, we get stuck there. If I'm in this position and I take my hands, I'm going to push myself away from the wall and I'm going to drag the heel of my hands up the wall so that I can bring my ribs down, okay? I'm exhaling, emptying from the bottom. I'm gonna talk you through the whole thing. Christine, try to get your arms straight. So I want a straight arm this time, right? And you're gonna see which one feels best for you. So if my arms are dragging up the wall, my elbows are straight, I'm inhaling into my chest, but I'm exhaling, emptying from the bottom to bring the ribs back down towards the ground, okay? I want you to think of this as like emptying from the bottom. I don't want it to be like your six-pack muscles or your upper abs only. I want the whole thing, right? So inhale into your chest, exhale, empty from the bottom. And then maybe you could take your knees to 90 degrees. Maybe you straighten both your legs, but we're gonna exhale all the air out as we lower one leg. And then inhale, bring it back. Exhale, lower your opposite leg. Inhale, bring it back. So this is what we talk about all the time. If your pelvis is popping, it's because you're not controlling the orientation of your pelvis and it's just kind of like dumping forward, right? So you do a shorter lever. Maybe you put something underneath the small of your back to get you into that posterior pelvic tilt. More is not better. Better breathing is better core, okay? You guys feel your abs on that one?
Yes.
Good. So just really think, inhale into the chest and into the clavicle, exhale, empty from the bottom. That's when I'm lowering my leg. And I don't have to go all the way down, but I do want to take a nice deep inhale and a nice deep exhale. And I want to actively drag up the wall to get those lats on board. So say we do like 10 to 12 leg lowers. Then we're gonna go back to the single leg deadlift, okay? This time you're gonna add a weight. If you're still like new to this, you don't have to add a weight, or it could just be like a light weight, but I sometimes think it's super helpful to have a weight for these, okay? So I'm gonna start on my left leg. My left leg is gonna be forward and my right leg is up the wall, okay? So the more I do this, the more I'm gonna get that drag of the hamstring. In the beginning, you're like, what the fuck is she talking about? But think about dragging like you're stuffing your shoe with that left leg. Right foot goes up the wall. It's not just like dead up the wall either. That one's kind of pulling up, right? Because I can feel my hamstring when I do that. I'm going to exhale. Look, my butt's reaching back, but my knee isn't going all the way back. I'm not locking it out, right? So there's weight above my heel. And then I'm just gonna come up. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Nice.
Is the exhale on the way down?
Yes, so that's gonna empty the air from the bottom up. And if you don't like it, then do the inhale, but I like that feeling better. Danielle, take your right foot down the wall just a little bit more. More. Good. Good, now let your left knee bend so that your left heel is heavier. Bend your knee forward a little bit. Left knee. Yeah. Good. This is better, Cheryl. You're more over it. Good. Michelle, how you doing?
These all kill me today. I'm dying.
Nice, good. Danielle, do you feel your butt?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good, good. And it doesn't hurt your back at all?
No.
Good, perfect. Good, Christine, find this balance between like your butt going back, but your right knee going forward a little bit. Like feel the stretch in your ass cheek. Good. Yeah, good, nice. Because I'm almost like always scissoring my legs in a single leg stance, right? So like if I'm dragging on that heel, my other hamstring's dragging too. And I'm trying to get one knee forward of the other knee. And that's how I'm gonna work my hamstrings and my glutes. Nice. Good. Michelle, get it from your ass, not your low back. Think about your butt. Yeah. Let go at the butt. I find that that's a really common thing too. Chin ups, Rebecca. Good. Good. So Jacqueline, are you going to use the rings or are you going to use the chin up bar?
What do you want me to do? I can use a chin up bar.
Okay, go just like 5 with the chin up bar. If we have only weights with a wall, then you're going to drag your arm down the wall and we're going to row there. You could do chin ups, you could do lat pull down.
Ooh, daddy's hot, stinky hockey stuff.
My little big hands hurt in the TRX, just so you know. Because I know your man hands, you don't.
I know, I have
Have any sympathy for us.
I have none. Cheryl, another one that's really good is like a short seated lat pull. Just because I see that you have that set up with the band. So if you sit yourself in more of like a short seated position underneath it, this is like one of my favorites. You can do it in our setups that we got. So if I go like this, I might actually pull down here. Like I'm rotating a little bit. Good. Get under it more though. So it's not like, yeah, perfect. And then choke up on your hand and kind of just like pull with your lat. Good. So now, yeah, good. Think about that right rib coming towards your right hip and then let it open up away from it and then pull down that way. Yep. That was helpful. Thanks. But now we're going step up to reverse lunge for 10. If you're like, I'm bored, do a step up to reverse lunge with a plyo. Do some plyo reverse lunges if that's all you have access to. I'll show you. And this is my Amazon bench that I might fucking break. I still want to think about allowing that knee to like go forward. I want to feel the heel heavy, right? As I step up, and then maybe I pop it up, come down, and pop it up. I'm pushing that midfoot through the ground, right? Still doing 10 and 10. If you're just doing alternating reverse lunges, you can do 12 and 12. You're really thinking about getting over the leg that you're working. Nice. Nice. So sometimes, like Cheryl, this is what I'll do. Like if I'm working on like step ups, I'll take like my wedge on my big toe and on the outer edge of my heel, and I'll just like really work that internal rotation as I lower myself down, you know?
On my left foot.
On your right. So like if your right foot had like a wedge underneath it, allow the knee to go forward and really just like work that. Because here's the thing, I don't know what your measurements are, but your right side seems like my left side. So like, I want to work that mid-range that like I need the internal rotation for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd like make up an exercise and I'd be like, all right, I'm only going to do the mid-range of the step up because that's like where I need the internal rotation and I need to have that mid-foot kind of drop down. Because like Tina said, it's not the calf. Like, okay, your calf's tight. Your calf's tight because your heel bone's never moving. Good, now heel heavy, but yeah, perfect. And then slow down the lower, rotate towards the right a little bit, slow it down, but keep that knee forward a little bit more and just see what you end up feeling. Then we're gonna go back to those dead bugs again.
So, Cece, I do feel a pop on my right side, but I'm not figuring out how to make it not do it.
So you're going too far. Do you know what I mean? So you have an anteriorly tilted pelvis that you usually can control, right? But you're not, you're going long lever and you're going too far. So all I want you to do is take a big inhale at that position, exhale, empty from the bottom, and then keep exhaling as you lower that right leg and go super slow.
It just like popped right there. Okay. Like right there.
Yeah, I would just like keep it super short range of motion right now. Or grab a block, squeeze it between your knees and do bilateral and just see kind of what happens there. I would want to kind of play around with it. Do you notice that with your right side anywhere else? Like weird?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So inhaling into the chest and then really thinking about those lower abs kicking in on exhale. Good. And you might like, whatever, this is for anybody that's like had kids with like C-section, just like check in like what the scar is like too. You know what I mean? It could be, because I usually don't see it so much on the right.
My right hip pops also.
Okay. So you pay attention to that as you're going down.
Yeah, and for me, if I have a
You're a
tendency.
lateral though, right?
Yeah, when I extend my right, I tend to roll to my left. So if I can keep myself from not rolling, it tends not to pop.
So that the exercise that we did in the beginning with like the bridge, remember, like opening up kind of and just like controlling that, that's helpful too. So I want to do just a little like finisher. Okay. So we're going to stand up. And I want you to think about just giving me 20 regular lateral height-ins, okay? But I want you to think about your what your foot's doing and what your butt's doing, okay? So instead of going like so fast and flying through it, I want you to stick it each time and try to lengthen through your glutes as you go. So like here, I'm on my right side, right leg's here. I'm gonna reach my left arm forward and I'm gonna try to think about my heel being heavy. I'm trying to lengthen through my butt. And then I'm gonna push myself all the way over to my left. And I'm gonna do the same thing. This time now I'm reaching my right arm and I'm sending that butt back. Good. I wanna blast myself as far laterally as I can, stick it for a second, and then push off again, okay? So don't rush, really try to think about, use that foot to create that power. Good, it's not about the height up, it's about how far laterally you can go. Perfect. And we're gonna go 20. And again, pay attention to your foot. For a long time, my left foot was just like, ugh, just like messing me up so bad. Good, now you're gonna get into a bear position. So I'm on hands and knees, just like this. I'm gonna take my left hand, I'm gonna cross it over my right, I'm gonna take an inhale. And then I'm gonna exhale, bring my left hand down. Right hand reaches across to the left, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, feel that air going to my upper back, exhale. Inhale, right arm reaches across, exhale, bring back. My ass is shaking all over the place. You can do this in a plank position on the bench to our feet or reach, and exhale. Inhale, reach across, exhale, bring it down. Inhale, reach across, exhale, bring it down. We're gonna stand back up. You're gonna go back to those lateral height-ins, this time less of a stick, a little bit faster, still finding that length, still finding your foot. Okay, 20, perfect, yep, push. Yield into the ground, nice, nice, push. Nice. And then you can just throw yourself to the ground. We're gonna just roll on the ground a little bit. All I want you to do is start from this position. Inhale, rock yourself back. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, rock yourself back. Exhale, bring it forward. And I want you to feel where on your back you might feel a little bit stiff or stuck. Okay, good. You can hold onto your knees in front of you. Yep, inhale, rock back, exhale, rock it up. And you're done. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Oh, meeting Sunday. If you guys have questions, hand them in or show your face. It'll be fun.
Thank you. Bye.